Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. With my wife and kids, we run an antique shop in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, filled with some of the most unique items we can find. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
Home, honey.
Hey guys, and welcome back. So on today's episode, we're going to be working our way through the interior, trying to get the wiring to work on the headlights and some of the other bits like the power window motors, and really getting things prepped and ready for the interior to go back together. So watch as we continue the progress on what was a junkyard Rolls-Royce, which is looking already a little bit sharper now, but we have to make this into a drivable car next. So let's get to it. This morning I ran out to get some contact cement because I'm going to be starting the install of the carpeting, and we're going to want to make sure that that carpet doesn't jiggle around or move or get out of the way. So I've got some contact cement. I'm going to use some brushes on that, and then basically I'm going to start pre-fitting the carpeting. So in the back area here, and then over the transmission tunnel, up along the sides, and then you lay it in. Now, I don't think I have the carpeting for the kick panels yet. I will do that later on. I'm not too worried about that. So those will be next steps. Okay, first thing I'm doing is I'm test fitting, making sure that this all is gonna go in the place that it needs to go, that that hole lines up so everything when I glue it down is gonna be nice. I can see it's gonna have to tuck in a little bit more there. I might need to do a little bit of trimming, but we get her. Always best to do this before you get the glue on. Next up, I'm applying a liberal amount of glue where the carpet's gonna go. And you gotta make sure you do it to both sides. So we're gonna get this nice and covered. It dries for about 10 minutes or so, and then we can start to adhere it. And you do generally wanna make sure you're in a well-ventilated environment. My garage is not super well ventilated right now. So as the day goes on, I might get more and more crazy, but let's hope that doesn't happen. I'm probably just gonna do a small batch of this today. I have a lot of errands to run, so I'll do this piece and then I'll come back and do the rest later on today. Okay, next I'm gonna start in the middle and then basically just work my way all the way up to the outside edge. So I'm gonna get it fit first and then start smoothing it all out. Well, it might not look like much right now, but this is the first piece of new carpeting in this whole car. I'm just gonna keep working out some of the little wrinkles here. Most of this gets covered by the seat anyway, but that's gonna be in there good and tight. You don't have to worry about that coming loose anytime soon.
Have a night.
I've been working on getting some of the underlay in, and I'm just kind of test fitting it where it goes. And I had a special guest show up, my friend Jason, who I've been friends with since high school, or well, actually no, since grade 7. What was the first thing we worked on together?
I think Super Hawk motorbike.
Yeah, probably the old Super Hawk, and then maybe bicycles in our shop class together.
And a DeSoto.
And the DeSoto, yeah. In fact, I'll insert a picture of the DeSoto. And now you've come today to help me out figuring out the wiring on the headlights.
Correct.
Yeah, so at some point someone has cut the wires to remove them. We're adding bullet connectors, so if they ever have to come out again, they won't have to be cut, they can just be pulled through. So while Jason's working on that, I'm gonna continue working on the interior here. It's already feeling better with the underlay in. I'm gonna find all my missing pieces and get that glued in. How's it going up front there, Jay?
Pretty good. Looks pretty good.
Okay, are we ready to test it out?
We are ready.
Okay, I guess we gotta hook up the battery. Let me come back here and do that.
I can do that.
You got it?
Yeah.
Wow. Service and a smile.
Yeah.
What a gentleman.
Action. Let's get some lights.
Okay.
Okay. Moment of truth.
Let's see what happens when I turn on the switch. And turn the accessory on and... Oh. Hang on. Oops, almost started it. No, I don't have lights. Okay, let's try it. Okay, that's brights, right?
Brights we have, but we don't have left outer.
On either side though, right?
Nope, just the drivers.
Oh wait, so is the passenger side working?
Yep.
Okay, hang on, let me flip the dip switch and see what's gonna happen.
I think we might have a burnt filter.
I have started laying the carpeting in for the transmission tunnel, and pretty soon I'll put the rest of the carpet in. Jason, thank you very much for helping out with the wiring.
You're welcome.
I'll try, I know the wires are all connected properly, so we'll get some new bulbs for the low beams and see if we can make it work. Could also be the dip switch too, but you never know.
Yep.
Car's been sitting a long time, but thanks again very much for coming out today.
No problem.
Transmission tunnel is in. Now I've got to lay some glue down on the underlay, and then the magic happens. It starts to look all carpeted and fancy in here again. I have to say, even though I'm not done with the carpeting, it is a whole lot nicer in here, and it's actually kind of cozy compared to what it was when I was afraid to even go in here. I did discover something though. My car has glass fuses, and then it has these crazy weird English fuses, which I've never really seen before. And what they do is they run a wire. You have to refuse your own fuse, but I'm laughing because it seems silly, but I'm sure if you're watching from England, they go, well, yes, that's common amongst our households here to use fuse wire. Well, guess what? You can't really buy easily in my town, fuse wire. I'll have to order some online. There's a little wire that you kind of feed in behind the copper, behind those copper bands that it runs across. And if it's blown, like that one, you can see it's broken and missing. While I wait for parts to come in, because I'll have to order that wire online to do this properly, I went and pretty much cleaned out the good fuses that were in my parts car. You can see they're not broken. So I'm going to try reinstalling the fuses that are, that were blown in my car, and see if maybe that'll make things work. Okay, I've replaced some blown fuses. Now to go to the trunk and hook the battery up and see if anything starts to work. Okay, after putting the fuses in, I learned a couple things. One, my power seat on the passenger side is working now just fine. I have power to the door, to the window on the passenger side, but it's not working. And I still don't seem to have anything off the driver's side. Of course, that would have been the motor that was used the most. And I'm fearing having to replace it, but at least the door panel is already off and I can access it. But that was one more part I didn't have to worry about. This little button here electrically operates my, you can hear that going. That's automatically opens my gas cap. And another bonus, my radio works. So that means that with the radio working and getting power to this door, I should be able to start closing up this area here and get that inner console reassembled. Now that I know things are all right there. But that still doesn't help me out with this one power window not working. Right now I've only got one window that works, and that's that quarter window right there behind me. It's the only working window in the car. These panels fit in somewhere right around here, like that, to fill that gap right there before your trim pieces all go on, and you get a nice snug fit. I'm going to do a test fit before I put them on, make sure everything all lines up, and then those should be good to go. Also time to get rid of the last remaining gross parts of the interior, the sun visors. I've popped the cap off, loosen these off, oops, gotta catch it. And that should just slide right out. Should, being the operative word. There it goes. I'll get rid of that guy. Minor snag, as I'm reassembling the center console, went to pull the lighter out of the center portion there, and well, that happened. It's completely rusted. There's no way I'm gonna be able to reuse this thing. So I've gone out and picked up a replacement lighter. It also lights up. Mine had the light up ring, but mine was orange. This one's green, that's okay. The top is black on this. Mine is a nice chrome, but that can always be changed another time. So I'm gonna prepare to get the lighter receptacle repaired in this car. Let me tell you, it was a lot of fun getting it out. Hopefully it'll be easier getting it back in. Okay, this is where it came from. And I have to put it back in there. So slid that out, took the ashtray out. Where'd it go? Took that out. It just goes right there. And I don't think anybody's gonna be smoking in this car, but it is nice to have a power outlet so you can charge your phone or do whatever with. So we're gonna get this all hooked back up again. And I had to switch out the end here, so it was a different style. It had a screw-on style. Disassembled that. So this piece will go in first, and then I'll thread the top through, and with any luck, we'll have a working lighter again. Okay, that should do it. I'm just gonna turn the battery on and make sure that thing works. Here we have the green glow. The light's working. Let's give that a minute and see if it heats up. We'll know if I had it. Okay, well, I think that's about enough for this week. And what did we accomplish on today's episode? Well, for starters, I got carpeting installed all throughout the interior. That was a bit of a job, but it's all done now with its proper piping. We've got the lighter repaired and working. Not that I plan on smoking in here, but I do plan on having power so I can charge my phone or do whatever else if I'm driving. Radio is in place and working. Center console is back together. We have, I took the old sun visors off. I'm gonna have to clean that all up. That'll be next step, I guess. I'll have to get them reupholstered. And I did find out what was going on. We were able to get power to all the power window motors now. So I'm getting clicks off of all of them. But I've only got one that kind of works. This guy right here. That's the only one that's kind of working right now. So we'll try and get the others to work too, but I think that the motors might be a little bit stuck. So I've ordered a handle online that goes in this emergency hole right here. And then you can crank it up and down manually. I'll see if that can kind of loosen it up a little bit and see if we can avoid having to send those in. Well, from paint last week to the carpeting this week, this car is really starting to take shape. Next week, we're gonna work our way through the carpeting of the trunk. Hopefully these seats will be back and I can actually put my butt inside this car and sit down and, be comfortable for a change. And then as we progress through the restoration, in a few episodes from now, we'll start to go through the mechanical. But thanks so much for watching the progress on today's episode. We'll see y'all soon, and bye for now.